What's up, people? It's your boy, the host with the most of Do Not Brag or Boast. I'm coming to you guys live from coast to coast. It's your boy. Welcome to another fabulous rendition of Review from a Car. As always, rate, comment, subscribe, share this with a friend, family, as well as a follower. Let's get this channel lit in the YouTube algorithm. I really do appreciate all the love and support I'm getting from this YouTube channel. And just continue the love, continue to support by subscribing, hitting the like button, sharing with a friend, family, as well as a follower. Okay, so we got all that stuff out of the way. If you haven't checked out my last live stream that I uploaded a couple of days ago, please go check that out. It will give you the full context of what I'm about to say about The Walking Dead Dead City. You guys know I'm a huge Walking Dead fan. I've been a Walking Dead fan since the OG Walking Dead. And then when they, with all these characters in the Walking Dead universe, in the Walking Dead world, they made separate entities of these characters that I have known, grown in love with, having their own series. At first, I thought this was a wonderful thing, having a series dedicated to Dale and the cast of characters that surround him, Maggie and Negan, that dynamic, having a series which is called The Walking Dead Dead City, we're about to talk about in a few minutes. I thought that was a wonderful concept, as well as I forgot the other Walking Dead with the OG, the two OGs from the two OG stars from the original Walking Dead. Even though out of all three of those concepts, I think they'll be getting season 2 of that particular Walking Dead. That's more of a newer Walking Dead composed to Walking Dead Dead City and Dale's Walking Dead. Okay, I've been very entertained with the Walking Dead universe, and I have been checking out on social media that they're thinking about relaunching the original Walking Dead. And I've heard two different concepts and two different ideals, bringing back the cast of characters that made the original Walking Dead what the original Walking Dead capable of being and was, and just rebranding it and just starting with a whole new cast of characters. We don't know which way or which side of the fence they're going to be leaning towards, but I really do believe it's based on how these shows are very liked and very watched, and how successful these shows are, if they're going to bring back the OG Walking Dead. A lot of hardcore Walking Dead fans would tell you that really that series died in season 5. There was really too much. There was not enough meat on the bone to continue it out, even though it lasted much longer than 5 seasons. A lot of people felt like everything after season 5 is just, a lot of people were not happy with it. Okay, I was very happy with the original Walking Dead and how now they expanded it into these series, and I've been very happy with these series, and I was looking forward to the Walking Dead Dead City season 3, because I thought that season 3 was going to be a breaking point on the future of the Walking Dead. Are they going to continue on this path, or they're just going to end it with I don't know what happened there, but my thought process was, were they going to continue this way, or are they going to just end it? Are they going to end it with these 3 series, with these 3 different shows? And I thought this was going to be the year to figure out, is the Walking Dead, the Walking Dead universe, is there a future of the Walking Dead universe? And a lot of people are comparing the Walking Dead universe to the Marvel universe and the DC universe, how, it has continued and how it evolved. When you look at those two universes, you look at the Star Trek universe, the Star Wars universe, and a lot of people seem to think that the Walking Dead has a following similar to those universes. And they thought that, hey, this was going to be the year to show people that there's a lot of fans, a lot of fans that are interested in the Walking Dead universe. And I'm one of those fans. So when I found out that Dead City was going to launch this summer, I could not wait, because I'm saying to myself, I'm a huge From fan. From is over with. I have to wait for From. So while I'm waiting for From, I'm going to be watching all of these television shows, starting with The Walking Dead, Dead City. Now, I watched the first episode of Walking Dead, Dead City. Wasn't too happy, wasn't too thrilled with the first episode. I thought it started off very slow. I thought it started off mediocre, and I couldn't even watch the whole episode because it was just so much of a slow grind to in episode 1. Now, I finished the rest of the episode yesterday and just found out that there's a new episode. Episode 2 is already, in my folder for me to watch. And if you guys want to know what I thought about Walking Dead, Dead City, just go check out the last live stream I uploaded a couple of days ago. So I finished watching it, and before let's backtrack. I didn't watch all of episode 1 because it was a slow grind. The story wasn't interesting. The writing wasn't very interesting, and I said a lot of things in that live stream that came to be true, and I was just speculating. Just by watching episode 1, I came to these conclusions. So when I finished watching episode 1, and then they talk about episode 1 at the end of the episode, a lot of things that I speculated in my live stream came to fruition after I finished watching the episode. And then I watched, like, they have like a little vlog thing of what they went through, and each individual episode, a diary, if you want to call it that. And my suspicions were true. And let me start it off by this. With Walking Dead, they write, the storytelling and the writing is top notch. Okay, I feel like there's two important ingredients you have to have when you're doing a show or when you're doing a movie. You have to have very interesting characters with backstories, and you have to have a great story if you want people to continue to watch the show or watch the movie. And I thought The Walking Dead, the majority of The Walking Dead, the majority of all these other new shows that spawned from the OG Walking Dead has been spot on with the writing and the character development. I thought it was spectacular, and the choice of actors and actresses that was introduced in the Walking Dead universe, I thought it was top notch. It was on all cylinders. However, with The Walking Dead, Dead City, I wasn't happy, wasn't impressed by the writing and the storytelling, because I thought they have became executive producers. All right. Now, they tried this concept by giving them an opportunity to executive produce, direct, and have influence on a few episodes in last season. And by giving them just a little bit opportunity to produce certain episodes, they still was guided by the main director and the main producer. With just this episode, you can just tell that AMC said, you know what, we're just gonna let y'all just do the whole shebang. We're gonna let y'all die. We're gonna let y'all have total freedom on just the one episode. I don't know what's gonna translate with the other episodes, but by just watching the first episode, you can tell it was heavily influenced and heavily controlled on what the actor and actress who portrays Maggie and Negan, how they see Maggie and Negan. It just did not correlate very well. It was just way too much cooks in the kitchen. It's almost to the effect of when you bring a comedian to an action film like Chris Tucker. Chris Tucker, they said he would ad-lib a lot on his movies. And, a lot of times it makes it funny. It makes it real funny. However, if you allow him to continue that on other concepts in other films, it's going to come off as, well, this movie is heavily influenced by the ad-libbing on a particular actor. You can just tell the actor or the actress has way too much influence in this film, and sometimes it can ruin a production. Okay, and that's what I was getting with Dead City in the first episode. Another thing I did not like is them rehashing older characters that we know about in last season. Like the two villains are rehashes of villains that we saw last season. Now, they killed off the mad scientist, and obviously you can clearly tell in episode 1, he's the bald-headed mad scientist who died in that episode is going to be replaced by another mad scientist type of individual, and that's the individual Negan ran into in the bar scene. So you can clearly tell that there's going to be conflict between Negan and the guy he met at the bar, and Negan's going to have to make a decision. Continue to build a better relationship with Maggie, or take this mad scientist side and create a relationship towards him. He's going to be put in that type of situation. You can clearly tell by episode 1 that this is going to make its rounds during this whole entire season. Now, there was a female villain who we saw last season. We thought she was dead, but she's not dead. And she had total control over Maggie's son, had too much influence over Maggie's son. Now, Maggie's son does make an appearance in the very first episode, and it comes off to the effect that, he's no longer mentally controlled by this older woman. And last season, he was like a patsy, a spy for the older woman. And even Negan says, well, hell, she's been a better mother to your son than you have. You can clearly tell this dynamic is going to be brought up in this season, okay? And it comes off as the way how Maggie's son comes into episode 2. It gives you this belief that, well, maybe Maggie's son finally sees the errors in his mother's way and just accepts his mother's flaws and accept his mother for who she is. And you can also tell in this episode that her and her relationship with Negan has gotten better. Maggie no longer feels the urge of revenge and killing Negan. Negan's no longer mad at Maggie because he wanted Maggie to kill him. He wanted it to happen that way. And when he started noticing Maggie is changed and she no longer feels that way. That's what the hatred came between those two characters, Maggie and Negan. Okay, you can clearly tell that this is going to be incorporated through next season, and that's what I did not like about episode 1. And that's why I came to the conclusion with episode 1 that, hey, I don't think Walking Dead Dead City is going to be a great series. All right, I just don't. I think they're utilizing way too many assets that they used in the older Walking Dead shows, and I mean the older Walking Dead season, and it's almost to the effect that it comes off as, what more can we do with these characters, Maggie and Negan? What's the one thing that connects these two characters, Maggie and Negan? Maggie despised Negan because Negan killed her lover. Negan despised Maggie as an individual that gets in Negan's way on how he foresees the world and how the world operates. So you got these two characters that, if from a distance you're saying to yourself, these characters have nothing in common, but in reality they do have a lot of things in common. Maggie and Negan does whatever it takes to protect the people that they're protecting. When, in the OG Walking Dead, you get to see Negan, and you look at Negan from afar and go, okay, well, this is why Negan operates and behaves the way he operates. Negan's really not a bad person. Negan is the type of person that will do whatever it takes to protect the people he's watching over. All right, and Maggie to a fault is similar. She's just like Negan, except Maggie has a line that she will not cross. Negan will cross that line, but they're pretty much similar. So when you see this dynamic in the OG Walking Dead, and you done had 2 episodes of Walking Dead Dead City, you're saying to yourself, what more can you do with these characters? They only had one thing in common, and and now when you look at the episode, it's also the effect of Maggie no longer has hatred for Negan, because that was the only thing that was tying these two together. Maggie wanting to get revenge for Negan killing her lover, and now she's gone to the effect of I learned to accept it is, and revenge isn't. I accept it for what it is, and revenge is not. Having revenge on you is not going to bring back my husband, my lover. And when you look at Maggie's son, he's looking at it from the retrospect of, Negan killed my father, but I don't have those urges no more. So the one dynamic that you constantly see, you want to constantly see over and over again, well, is Maggie going to kill Negan? That concept is dead now. So now what else can you do? Now they're making Maggie and Negan in season 3 like a buddy and cop movie. Like it comes off as that. And to me, there was so much left on the plate of how can they evolve from this. And the 2 episodes, when you had time to generally have these two grow within one another. They sort of kind of were separated Even in the other episodes, in the other seasons, Maggie would do her thing, Negan would do his thing, and then at the end of the season, they would come together. They come together, Jesus moment, because the same problems that they were trying to deal with separately, they have those same problems. So they figure if we team up, we can eliminate those problems. All right. So what is left in Dead City? What is left of Maggie and Negan? And in other Walking Deads, and in Dale's Walking Dead, and I forgot his name. Oh my God, he's the main character in the OG Walking Dead, and his name escapes me. But at least in those series and in those shows, they go out and it's almost like a starting over period. Like, it's the same formula they did with the old Walking Dead. They just adapted that formula to those shows. So they go out and they rediscover a new town, new people, and now they have new problems that they solve. With Walking Dead Dead City, they're trapped in New York City, and what's left? You understand what I'm saying? Now, I've seen the other future episodes. They're going to incorporate other characters, but to me, episode 1 should have been an introduction to those characters, and maybe it would enhance the episode a lot better, because your first episode, these episodes, they're gonna go like, well, wait a minute, what's going on? Okay, what's keeping me watching me? I felt like Walking Dead Dead City, it lost its edge, it lost its way. And like I said in my last live stream, I just don't see myself watching Walking Dead Dead City the whole season. Like I was when I was heavily invested in Walking Dead Dead City. I would wait every Monday morning to watch these episodes. You understand what I'm saying? I don't have that urge anymore, because I felt like episode 1, it was kind of lost. It was kind of figuring itself out, and to me, I just can't see myself investing time in Walking Dead Dead City at this time. I may watch Walking Dead Dead City when there's nothing to do, if there's nothing else to watch, or there's no game for me to play. I might watch it, in like in the winter time, in between shows that's going to be coming out. But Walking Dead sort of lost its edge in this season. Now, episode 1 isn't like what you got from episode 1. It's not like the other episodes are going to be like that way. Maybe they were allowed to executive produce this episode, but the other episodes, but you're rehashing the same current events. You're rehashing the same characters that you knew about in last season, and I just don't think that's a good look. I don't really think that's a good look. And you're still using the same underlying stories, so I'm gonna have to pass on Walking Dead Dead City. I'm pretty sure there's fans of The Walking Dead that are going to still watch this. I'm not telling you not to watch this, but to me, and this is my review, I don't see myself heavily invested in Walking Dead Dead City. I think it lost its luster. A lot of people like John Campos, who's a movie critic, he's not even talking about Walking Dead Dead City. So I feel like Walking Dead has really lost its flair. It lost its edge. It's not what it used to be. Now, does this mean that the rest of the shows, like Dale's Walking Dead and the other Walking Dead shows, does that mean that you should do a hard pass on them? I don't think so, because they act like their own. They're different entities. Like Fear the Walking Dead had nothing to do with the OG Walking Dead. And the three shows that spawned after the OG Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead, they really have no connection, even though these characters know each other, but they have no connection towards one another. So, yeah, that's my review on Walking Dead. Like I said, I'm not telling anyone not to watch it, but to me, I'm not gonna watch it. I think The Walking Dead did, you know, The Walking Dead Dead City is dead to me. I just don't see going further what's the purpose of me watching these shows. But yeah, that's all I got for today, guys. As always, rate, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next live stream, in the next video. I'm out. Peace.